All right, folks, buckle up, because we've got a lot of weather energy swirling across the country right now, and it's about to make for one wild stretch heading into the weekend and early next week. I've been watching the satellite loops all day, and let me tell you, there are multiple systems at play, each one setting the stage for a major pattern shift that'll take us from warm and stormy to cold and snowy in just a few days. Let's start out west. You can already see that punch of energy coming in off the Pacific. A tight cluster of isobears moving into the Pacific Northwest. And you know what that means. Wind and rain are about to crank up. Coastal Washington, Oregon, Northern California, get ready for gusty winds and some pretty soaking rains. Once that system pushes inland, it's going to squeeze out moisture over the mountains. And that's where we could see some serious snowfall piling up at those higher elevations. We're talking the kind of snow that kicks off ski season early in the Cascades and Sierras. Now, as that system moves east, things start to get even more interesting. On the weather maps, you can literally see these little pockets of spin, what we call vorticities, lining up across the country. There are three main ones. The first one's rolling through the Great Lakes right now. The second will sweep across the Midwest in the next couple of days. But it's the third one, the one diving south by this weekend, that really grabs my attention. That's the energy that'll open the door to our first true blast of winter air. And yes, it's going to come with some snow on the backside. But before we get to that, let's talk about what's happening right now. Because ahead of that cold front, it's unusually warm for November. Temperatures are running 10, even 15 degrees above normal in many spots. We've got that classic November setup. Warm, moist air feeding in ahead of a powerful cold front. And when that kind of warmth meets incoming energy, it spells trouble. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. The Storm Prediction Center already has parts of the lower Midwest highlighted for severe weather Friday afternoon, especially across western Tennessee, Kentucky, and maybe even parts of northern Alabama. The instability will be there. It's not through-the-roof type energy, but enough to fuel storms capable of strong wind gusts, maybe some hail, and definitely heavy rain. I'd keep an eye on that Friday evening time frame, because we could see storms erupting across Tennessee and Kentucky, and then pushing north into Ohio and western Pennsylvania overnight. Then comes the real game changer, that colder air mass plunging south from Canada. This system's already been spinning up north of the border, and as it drops in, it's going to lower the jet stream and open the floodgates for Arctic air. You'll feel that temperature crash late Friday night into Saturday morning. That's when the snow starts to break out across Montana and the Dakotas. By Saturday night, that snow will stretch into South Dakota, maybe brushing Sioux Falls, and forming a low-pressure center that moves across the upper Midwest into Sunday. And yes, that could mean the first flakes of the season for places like Iowa, Wisconsin, and possibly even Chicago. Nothing major for most spots, maybe a slushy inch or two, but enough to make it feel like winter has arrived. And it all begins right now. The first big cold front is already on the move. The kind of front that doesn't just drop temperatures, it changes the mood of the season. Within the next week, the Midwest and Great Lakes are about to be hit with their first real taste of winter. I'm talking daytime highs struggling to reach the 30s, nights diving into the teens, and that early November chill that just cuts right through you. From Minneapolis to Chicago, from Detroit to Cleveland, you're going to feel it. Now here's the kicker. It's not just a quick cold shot. This pattern is setting up to stick around, and it's the kind that reloads again and again. It's driven by a strong jet stream dipping deep into the central US, pulling down Arctic air straight out of Canada. And when you mix that with a very active Pacific storm track, you get something powerful, a non-stop series of snow systems that just keep coming. So let's break this down region by region, because everyone's going to feel this one. Let's start with the Midwest and Great Lakes, because honestly, this is where winter 2025 is going to hit the hardest. Chicago, brace yourselves. I'm calling for 65 to 70 inches of snow this winter. That's a solid 20 inches above your normal. Lake effect bands are going to light up Lake Michigan's shores early and often. Detroit, I'm going 60 to 65 inches for you. Constant shots of snow, ice, and brutal wind chills. Cleveland, you might be the snow capital of the Great Lakes again this year. With strong northwest flow and a warm lake early in the season, I wouldn't be surprised to see totals push past 80 inches by March. Buffalo? You're right there too! 90 inches, maybe more if those lake effect belts really set up. Then we swing west, into the upper Midwest and northern plains. Minneapolis, Duluth, Fargo, it's going to be relentless. I'm seeing an early snowpack developing by mid-November and never letting go. You might see 70 to 75 inches in Minneapolis, 90 or more up in Duluth, and blizzard conditions through January. Temperatures here will run 10 to 15 degrees below normal for much of December and January. We're talking daytime highs in the single digits. That kind of cold where your eyelashes freeze when you walk outside. Now for the Northeast and New England. This is where it gets interesting. The storm track this winter looks very favorable for nor'easters. Boston, I'm calling for 55 to 60 inches of snow. Several major coastal systems, one or two of which could dump over a foot at a time. New York City, you might finally get a true winter again after a few quiet years. I think you'll see 30 to 40 inches total, with one or two big storms around late January and again in mid-February. Philadelphia, around 25 to 30 inches. Still above normal, and enough to keep the shovels busy. Upstate New York, Syracuse, and Albany, I'm thinking 75 to 90 inches, with constant lake effect snow off Ontario. Heading into the Appalachians and interior mid-Atlantic, places like Pittsburgh, Morgantown, and Western Maryland. You're looking at a snowy winter too. Expect around 55 to 65 inches for Pittsburgh, and even higher totals in the mountains. The cold air will bite hard here, with wind chills dropping below zero more than a few times through January. Now let's go south, because even the southern US is going to feel this one. Nashville, you might get 10 to 15 inches total. Rare for you, but very possible this year. Memphis and northern Mississippi could even see several measurable snow events. Atlanta might see a couple of surprise systems. I'm talking 2 to 4 inches here and there, which in that region can shut everything down. Dallas, yes, even Dallas, has a good shot at least one major ice or snow event, probably in late January. Moving westward, the Rockies and the Intermountain West are in for a strong snow season too. Denver, I'm calling for 75 to 85 inches total, with strong upslope events through December and January. Salt Lake City, about 70 inches. Aspen, Jackson Hole, Big Sky. You're going to have a phenomenal ski season. Snowpack across Colorado, Wyoming, and Utah could end up 20% above normal by February. The Pacific Northwest, you're back in the storm track as well. Seattle, Portland. Heavy rain, but up in the Cascades, it's going to be huge. Mount Hood, Mount Rainier, and Stevens Pass could easily see over 500 inches of snow this winter. Spokane and northern Idaho, I'm predicting 60 to 70 inches, and some of the coldest air you've seen in years by January. Now the California Sierra Nevada, this one's going to be dramatic. Early season snows kick off in November, then the real action hits in December and January. Tahoe could see over 400 inches this year. Mammoth Mountain around 350. Even Sacramento might see a brief dusting at some point in late December if that Arctic air digs deep enough. The Northern Plains, Bismarck. Rapid City, Sioux Falls. Prepare for a winter that rivals 2013. Bismarck might see close to 80 inches, and a snowpack that doesn't melt until March. It's that kind of winter, and the cold. Let's talk about that. This isn't just a snowy pattern, it's a cold one. Arctic blasts will keep sweeping through the central and eastern US every week or two. By late November, wind chills in the northern tier could reach 20 degrees to 30 degrees. Even down south, we're talking mornings in the 20s and 30s deep into Texas. And that pattern holds through January. Brutal. Sustained cold, the kind that keeps the snow from melting between storms. By February, I think we'll see the atmosphere really lock into a classic polar vortex setup. The Great Lakes will be mostly frozen. The northern plains will be buried. And even the Ohio Valley will have snowpack stretching hundreds of miles. All right. If you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, leave your region or city in the comments. I'll answer them individually as I have time. Commenting is completely free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.